Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast.
Stitch 11.
Stitch 11.
Yay, I got one right. So, hope everybody's ready for Christmas. I can't believe that Christmas Eve is tomorrow, and I'm so excited because we go to Shyla's house on Christmas Eve, and we spend the night at her house and have Christmas with her and her family, and we drink, and you know, anytime I'm with my daughter, we drink.
Of course.
And we play games and open gifts and eat, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it too. So my family also spends Christmas Eve together. It's my whole family. So it's my sister and her husband and her 2 children, and then me and my kids. Well, Eric can't make it, but Paige and Antonio. I will get to pick up Celeste and Catalea. We all go to church around 3. It's a children's service. They have like live animals out in the back, like by the soccer field. You know, that you can go like to the little petting zoo, and they have live animals. And then it's like a 3 o'clock service, and then we're done by around 4. We all go to my parents' house, and then we eat. We have a different eating thing than most people do. We don't have like a ham and all that fancy stuff. We have sandwiches. But let me just say, these sandwiches are awesome. So my dad goes first thing in the morning, and he goes to Central Market, which is a market that has it's an H-E-B, which we have here in Texas, but it's a market that has foods from all over the world. And so he gets like good salami and sopressata and prosciutto and Jagdwurst and Gelbwurst and, you know, cold cuts from Germany, which is where we're from, and, you know, brie cheeses and camembert. I mean, just all sorts of stuff. My mom makes tata, which I know a lot of people don't like all that stuff. That's raw beef.
I liked everything you said except the raw beef and that nasty brie cheese.
Yeah, I love brie.
Gosh.
I love brie. And we have salmon and lox, and I mean, just really great stuff. Now, we do have tamales for the kids, and I think my parents even said they were going to throw in some hot dogs. Oh. But my grandkids love all sorts of salamis, you know, so they'll have the prosciutto and the salami and the Gelbwurst and Jagdwurst and all that other stuff, but they won't eat the tata, and Antonio loves all cheeses, so he will probably eat all the cheeses and stuff, and Celeste is kind of into the cheeses. She's not as adventurous as Antonio.
And y'all do that on Christmas Eve?
We do that all on Christmas Eve, and when we're done eating, then we all sit down and we all open presents, you know, to each other and the whole 9 yards, and then we go home and wait for Santa to go to bed and wait for Santa to come. So hope all the kids were good this year. See what Santa will bring them.
So we can't talk today, but Shyla, you know, we were talking about what we wanted to do for eating wise, and I told her that, you know, it's her house. We can do whatever she wants. But I'm up for something easy because, you know, I don't want her and Tim to be cooking the whole night. I want something fast and easy that we can all just enjoy and then get on with the night, you know. And I think Shyla, she's going to make stew.
Oh, that sounds good.
We'll have stew. And then
I mean, sandwiches are easy.
Yeah,
you just have to cut bread and
I actually think that that's what we're going to do when we have our family Christmas. So because we have one kid that lives in Houston with his family and another kid that lives in Amarillo with his family, we've always done this ever since Casey got married. He was the first one to get married. And after, you know, I never wanted people, I mean, I remember when our kids were little trying to get to Bruce's family's house and get to my family's house, and it's just a nightmare.
It is a nightmare.
And we all lived in the same town. So when Casey got married, I made the decision that I was not going to do that to my kids. I wasn't going to stress out my kids for the holidays. So on Christmas, we never have our family Christmas on Christmas because I wanted, you know, Shyla and her family to be able to go to her in-laws because, you know, they do have other family besides just me and Bruce. So, you know, they go to Tim's families, and Casey does his other families, and Chase does his other family stuff, and on Christmas. So I never have my kids on Christmas, which is I'm fine with. And because to me, it's the day. It's not really the date. It's the having everybody together.
Yeah, it is.
And so we always have our Christmas like the first weekend in January.
Yeah.
And so we do Christmas Eve with Shyla and her family, But then
But they're much closer.
they're in the same town. But our family Christmas with all the kids and all the grandkids, we will do the first weekend in January like we do every year. So,
Yeah,
and I think on that one, we're going to have sandwiches. I think we had sandwiches last year and just dips and snack stuff. And it worked really good because Shyla and I wasn't, you know,
In the
slaving
kitchen.
in the
Yeah,
kitchen. And we got to be with everybody else.
I mean, the most slaving we do in the kitchen is filling up drinks. And we put Jim in charge of that's my sister's husband. Jim is in charge of drinks this year. So, and I think I've mentioned before, my mother has some, you know, different illnesses and things of that nature. And she does have cancer. And she's on a new chemo drug. And this chemo drug really makes her tired. And my dad went to my sister's to pick up the dogs or whatever. My sister has 3 huge dogs, or drop them off or something. And he said, I'm really worried about Mom doing Christmas Eve this year. I don't want her standing up in the kitchen. You know, she'll stand up and, you know, make a potato salad for 45 minutes. And then she needs to go and sit down and rest or lay down for 45 minutes. And then she'll get up and, you know, make the next thing. And then she'll have to go sit down or whatever. So my sister and I called up my mom and said, this year, you're not doing anything. You just give us a list of everything that needs to be done. My dad has the, you know, the hardest portion. He's the one that has to go to the store in the morning and get all this stuff. But my sister's taking the morning shift. She's going to be there from 10 to 12 with her daughter Grace. And they're going to like get the salsa ready, and they have something to make. I know my job is to get the cold cut tray ready. So I go over at about noon. So we're both going to be there for enough hours to make sure my mom's not getting up.
That's good.
You know, so I go over at about noon, and I get the cold cut tray ready and different things, and then I'll leave at 2 and get the girls, and we'll go to church. And then when we come back, Janice and Grace have one thing to do. I have to get the tamales ready, and then we'll sit down and eat and stuff. But yeah, it's nice to not have to be slaving in the kitchen, or not have anybody slaving in the kitchen, you know. My mom would never put out paper plates, so we haven't gotten that far.
Oh, we don't never do paper plates either.
So, I would love for my mom to do paper plates so we could just all throw them away at the end, but my sister and I will do the dishes, which is fine, you know, no big deal. So, but it would be, you know, that would make it even one step easier.
You know, paper plates is something that Bruce and I never even think about buying. I mean, we never even have them in the house. It's like and I don't have anything against paper plates or plastic plates or whatever. It's just not something we ever think about buying.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, if you think about it, you know, logically or whatever, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of waste of money, especially if it's at your home and you know, you're not
have dishwashers,
lazy like me. And, you know, I do paper plates here and there. I use regular plates, and if I have paper plates in stock and if I remember to buy them, I will buy them. And, you know, for the grandkids and stuff, when I have the grandkids over, and I know most of this is my fault, but they can each dirty like 7 plates, you know, and I should make them just use the same plate over and over again. But Grandma want this and Grandma want that, and, you know, and I go and get it, and they are spoiled at my house, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it. So, so I do paper plates a lot with the grandkids and stuff. So, but anyway, so we'll do the dishes and stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope whatever you guys are doing for your holiday season, you enjoy it, you have a great time, and you spend it with the ones that you love.
I agree.
Yeah. So, I've had quite a few things going on this past week. My daughter Paige was in a car accident yesterday at 3:30 in the morning. I got that phone call. And it does. It scares you when your heart is asleep and you get that the phone rings and you know, look at the screen and I know it's my daughter, but she's fine. She was with her best friend Bizzle, and Bizzle's fine. There was they were on the highway going home, and there was a car accident already in front of them. And on, you know, the highway is a 70-mile-per-hour highway. So, you know, they're cruising along at 70 miles per hour, and it wasn't really a hill, but it was a little bit of a hill and a little bit of a turn. So they kind of, you know, came up the hill and a little bit turning. It's not a bad one by any means.
Were they on 1604?
They were. They were on 1604 between Babcock and Calcio going westbound. And Jaime said he saw it on the news this morning. I haven't put the TV on yet, but Jaime said he saw it on the news this morning. And there was a wreck that had just happened in front of them. So the car in front of them was able to stop in it. I mean, slam on their brakes and stop in time. And, you know, Paige was, you know, half a second probably later than the guy in front of him, but it wasn't enough. So she slammed into the car in front of her.
Will they be like, will the insurance look at it as the people that caused the original wreck's fault?
I don't know. That's what I thought, you know. So when I was, you know, I picked up the girls, and I know all you people up north are going to make fun of us, but it was cold outside. It was probably, you know, 45 degrees, but we were cold. And so I was just worried about getting them home. I had Antonio last night. He loves to spend the night on Friday nights. And so I had him wrapped up and in his car seat in the back. And I just wanted to make sure the girls were okay and, of course, get home and go to bed. But I did get a case number from the police officers. And quite honestly, I have no clue. I don't know if it because the guy in front of Paige was able to stop in time and then, you know, Paige hit him, if that's considered a separate wreck from the...
I kind of think it will be, but
I have a feeling it will be also, but I really don't know. I mean, in the long run, I really think it was the very first car's fault. And they were drinking. They were arrested for DUI. So, and Jaime said on the news, they said somebody took off. Like, somebody ran. Like, they got in their car and left. That shouldn't have, but... I don't know anything about that. The girls didn't say anything about that. So my biggest worry now, I mean, everybody's safe. And, you know, my biggest worry now is if the car is totaled. Paige drives a little Jeep Patriot or something like that. And we bought that just about a year ago. A little bit over a year ago she bought it. And I'm just, you know, she's on a strict budget. She just bought a house and, you know, her car payment was pretty low. And now if we're going to have to turn around and buy another car and, you know, just getting back into that low car payment. So
maybe it's not totaled. I
pray it's not totaled, but the pictures are pretty bad.
Yeah, they are.
But I don't know. I don't know what mechanics can do.
I know, Charlotte.
You know, you can look at a really bad one and then they just like go cha-ching, ding, 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 and, you know, fix it.
I think it's the value of what the car's worth and what it would cost to fix it, you know. But I know Shiloh one time crushed the front end of a pickup that she had, and I mean, I was shocked that they didn't total it, and they didn't. They fixed it, so
it's pretty smushed. But trust me, I would love for them to fix it as long as it's still a safe car. Of course, I don't want like a bent axle or something that's going to be dangerous. But I would love for them to fix it so she can just stay in the car payment that she's in and in the car that she's in and the whole 9 yards. So, but so we had that. I just hope that, you know, everything's all right with that.
Yeah, me too.
And then yesterday, Jaime had to put his oldest dog down.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Paco. He was a rat terrier, and Jaime had him before I met him, and I've known him 10 years. I think he said Paco was about 18 years old. So, and he had
a good long life.
He had a good long life, and you know, Jaime said it's the first dog he's had to put down. He says all of his dogs have always, you know, died of their own, you know, natural causes or old age. But Paco was just deteriorating. He's been blind for a while, but he knows the layout of the house and, you know, he may do and everything. But he said he went out to go to the bathroom yesterday morning, and when he saw him walking or whatever, it's like all of a sudden his back legs just like were paralyzed, you know, like he was just dragging them. And Jaime said he'd been whimpering a couple of nights, and he had been contemplating on doing this for about a week. But, you know, he would, like, be ready. He'd be like, okay. He'd see him at night. He'd be whimpering. He'd be like, okay, boy, I'll take you tomorrow. I'll take you tomorrow. Or, because, you know, the place would be closed or whatever. And then the next morning, you know, Paco's, like, jumping like a little 6-month-old puppy. He goes, how can I take him, you know, to a vet now and say, you know, he's hurting. When he's, you know, looks perfectly fit or whatever. And so... And then he wouldn't. And then, you know, a couple of days later, you know.
That's a hard decision.
It is a very hard decision. You think, yes, it's time. And then, you know, sometimes I think you make excuses for yourself. Oh, no, look, he's fine. He's fine. I'm going to, you know, keep him a little longer or whatever. But that was a sad day. So, but, you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
I need this holiday weekend,
No
you know, lots of good cheer and spirit. So, my only other big depressing thing of the week, you guys are all going to make fun of me, but Darlene and I are both pretty much set in our ways. You know, we have a set schedule. You get up, you go through your little routine of getting ready, you go to work, you get off work, you go home, and you put on your pajamas. You either cook supper or sew bags or get lazy like me, make a cup of tea and sit and knit. Well, Jaime has a friend. He's known this guy since 3rd grade, and his girlfriend texted me about a month ago, maybe even longer, and the friend's girlfriend, and said, "Hey, we want to have you guys over for dinner. What's a good day?" And so we told her like Tuesday or Wednesday would be the best. And this past Wednesday, we went to dinner with them, and I was not looking forward to it.
It's so sad to have friends. I mean, gosh.
Have friends that care and want to cook for you and have you over, and you know, it's just, I just was not looking forward to it. But I will say I had a much better time than I thought I would. They had another couple friend that was a couple over, Jeff and Liz, and then Mark and Pauline, and then Jaime and myself, and we did have a good time. But we left about 9:30 or whatever, and Jaime got me in bed just right before 10, you know, which is way late for this grandma. But it was a lot nicer than I thought. One lady brought this peach Bellini stuff that was just delicious, and if I didn't have to go to work the next morning, I probably would have had a couple more glasses of that. But I was like, no more for me. I'm going to switch to water because, you know, I don't want to go to work hungover or anything. And trust me, I get hungover a lot easier at this age than I did when, you know, I was younger and can bounce back or whatever. But it was a good week, you know, besides that.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Well, mine was pretty uneventful. I mean, I had pretty much nothing.
No?
Just work, and I can't talk about my knitting because it's all Christmas secret stuff.
Secret stuff.
So, yeah, no.
Oh, Antonio and I made fidget spinner cookies.
And they were delicious. Antonio made me one.
Antonio is obsessed with fidget spinners.
He really is. I've never known anybody to be obsessed with a fidget spinner.
He really loves fidget spinners. So I found a fidget spinner cookie cutter on Amazon, and I bought it a couple weeks ago. So we made fidget spinner cookies. And
I have to tell you, I was so impressed with her fidget spinner cookies because I didn't know you could buy a fidget spinner cookie cutter. And I thought that she was like
making them,
shaping it herself.
And let me tell you what, they were all perfectly shaped.
I was very impressed. And then she was like, "No, it's a cookie cutter." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not as impressed.
I'm not that impressive anymore."
But they were delicious. They were shortbread, and
yeah, they were shortbread.
Antonio decorated one just for me. It was so cute, and it was delicious.
We had a good time. We had a good time doing that. And then I've been doing some crock pot cooking. If anybody has any great crock pot recipes out there, you know, feel free to send them to me. But other than that, just knitting and getting ready for the holidays. I hope you guys are all ready. I'm all done. I wrapped my last present this morning, which was my dad's Ranger. I just put it in a box and wrapped it up, and I am finished.
I'm still working on one, and then when I leave here, I've got to go and get Bruce one more thing for Christmas. But I know where I'm going. I've got to go to Academy. But I'm going to do that on my way home. I should have done it on my way here, so I could have wrapped it here.
Oh, that would have been better.
But
yeah, but you
know, I wasn't that smart.
No, so, thought of it now, not then. Yeah, I get it. So, Darlene and I did our little Christmas exchange, and she got me this absolute fabulous pajama shirt, and I have I don't know if you can see it, flannel pajama pants that I love, absolutely love. And we're both going to be great next year about not buying yarn. Except she got me the Harry Potter homespun house.
But that was in 2017.
Yeah, she bought it in
2018.
But I will have those 3 skeins to show come next year. So if we buy any yarn next year and we show it on the podcast, look, this is what I got because of this, and this. You guys all have to send us an email and like chew us out.
Because we really do want to knit from stash, but we did do our Christmas swap, and I'm going to stand up because Carrie made me this beautiful May sweater. It's long. It's by Andrea Mowry. It's long in the back and a little shorter in the front, and it's made out of Malabrigo Rios in my favorite color, green, and I absolutely love it. And she also got me pajamas, and she got me this awesome basket. And I called this basket the basket full of goodness, and we'll talk about this later.
Yeah, that's craziness later.
But she got me this basket, and we always go over the top for each other on Christmas.
We do.
But it's always wonderful because we know it, we just know each other so well.
We do.
She knows
we
what,
do. It's my favorite gift to buy is her gifts.
And mine is yours also.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we're going to have to be better this year, though, on our birthdays, because my birthday's in January.
I already have all your birthday presents.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, and her birthday is in February, and we always, overdo it on our birthdays, too. So we do Christmas, December, January, February.
Yeah,
is always,
Back.
But I just love...
It's fun.
Buying and doing stuff for Carrie, and I know she does me too, so I love all my stuff.
I got this awesome tote bag.
I love this tote bag. And y'all, I know I've told y'all this before, that my husband makes these tote bags. And I told him, I said, Bruce,
I will put a close-up picture of all this stuff
I need this bag. It's a pig in mud.
It is.
You got pigs snorkeling and pigs playing with balls and pigs doing the backstroke.
It is so cute.
It's the cutest thing.
It's the cutest thing ever.
And Bruce told me, you don't need that. You don't need one. You're not getting one.
You need one.
Okay.
I think you need one.
But I love the material. I think it's so cute.
It is. It is. And she has it in the shop.
And I have a huge shop update this week.
So got a bunch of bags.
I've got 8 new ones and 3 more at home that aren't finished.
So we'll show that towards the end. Well, we went over FOs.
And I have none that I can show.
Well, she has some. Yeah. It's just secret.
Yeah.
Secret stuff. We'll get pictures in on the next podcast, but. And I'll show. Well, before we talk about your whip,
okay, I have 2 other ones.
Okay,
I can put this down for a minute.
Yeah, because that's a craziness whip. We're gonna have to talk about that in a little bit.
Started on Brinley's fun sweater, I made Kagan and Brinley.
She loves this pattern.
Kagan and Peyton. Yeah, so I got to get this done. I have to have it done by the 6th of January. So you have to make me finish this.
All right.
By the 6th of January.
6th of January.
And I even texted her and I said, "Are you sure you want this sweater? Because it's
heavy.
It's heavy." And Kagan hadn't worn hers yet because she had said it hadn't been cold enough. Now Peyton, I have Peyton's at my house because I had to wash it this weekend because Peyton has wore the tail off of it. So, I asked Brinley, I said, "Are you sure you want it?" And she was like, "Yes, I want it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I'm not sure Paige wants hers, so I'm going to have to check with her one more time before I finish hers. But, I still have all that yarn, Still got to do something with that yarn.
I know. And when I washed Peyton's, I washed it, and it really stretched out. And I thought, holy crap. I guess I don't know how to wash hand knit stuff without it stretching. I don't know how you do that.
I'm not sure that I know how to do that either.
So if anybody knows how to do that, let us know.
Yeah, this sweater that I made, I'm sorry, excuse me. It is meant to be big, and it is meant to be long. Wear over leggings, cover your butt long. And I had it just right when I finished knitting it. And then, of course, I soaked it to block, and I laid it out to block. I think that thing grew 3 feet.
It's big, and Peyton's did that, and the cuffs were really big, and I thought... So if anybody has any tips on how you hand wash a hand... you hand wash a hand knitted item, let us know, because, I don't know how to keep it from just growing. So
part of it's just the weight of it. You get it out of the... I put mine in the sink.
Me too.
Get it out of the sink, and you either wring it out or, squeeze it or whatever, get the water out. I usually put it in a towel, roll it up, step all over it or whatever, and then start to block it. But just the sheer weight of all the water in it. Even when I did my dad's Ranger, it just oh my God, my dad is not 10 feet tall.
Yeah. So if y'all have any tips, please let us know. But I put her sweater, I let it air dry for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and then I did put it in the dryer. And
how did that go?
Well, I was really nervous about it, and I thought, the agitation in the washing machine is what makes it felt. So I was hoping that it wouldn't felt if I just threw it in the dryer, and it didn't, but it did shrink it down some.
Well, good.
So
I did throw. This is superwash wool, though. This is superwash wool.
Yeah, and that one is pure wool.
I did throw this in the dryer a little bit to shrink it up, but even just wearing it, the weight of just the yarn in it, just wearing it makes it longer. I want to make myself one of these, and
I want to make one too.
And we'll have to do it a little bit shorter. I know you love it, but I think it is just a touch too long.
It's a little long, but I love it.
I'm glad you love it.
So my only other whip, because we can't talk about that one yet, is... So I'm started doing a little bit of crocheting, and I don't know what I'm doing. So this is my little granny square. So my problem is when I get to here, you know, you do a slip stitch to connect it.
You might want to hold it up higher for them.
Okay, so you get to here and you do like a slip stitch to connect it, and that connects it. But how do I go from here, this connected part, to here without cutting my yarn and restarting?
Oh, I have no idea.
You're supposed to know.
Doesn't it say to like chain 2 or?
It says to chain 1, but it don't look like it works when I did. So I've made about 10 of these, and every time I get to the end of the round, I'm cutting my yarn and starting over. And I know you shouldn't have to do that. So I don't know how to get this one joined and then start crocheting, because I do on these little blocks. I'm doing 2 rounds of the color.
So you
slip stitch through there.
Slip stitch through this one. See if I can slip stitch. And then I can't even slip stitch. And then it says to chain 1. Get this through.
Okay.
So now you chain 1. And now you go into here?
Yeah.
Like a double crochet?
And you do 3 double crochets, and then you do chain 3 to make another corner. I mean, it's a granny square. It shouldn't be that hard.
You didn't know you were getting a tutorial today. Well, you know, that doesn't look... Oh, no, I see.
See what I mean?
Okay, so that chain 1? This is the chain 1, and then she needs to go into this one. But to make these 3, that chain 1 kind of sticks out.
So what I'll
take a picture of this and insert it, but I see what she's saying.
So what I've been doing is when I do that slip stitch, I cut the yarn, and then I have to reattach my yarn.
She reattaches
and start,
it here.
And I don't think you should have to do that. I mean,
I'm pretty sure you shouldn't have to do that.
I agree.
I see what you're saying.
So you see my dilemma?
Yeah, so I'll take a picture of this and insert it. I know you guys had to watch me do that. But.
So I'm hoping this next year, I want to make a blanket out of granny square blanket. And so I want to make like a granny square a day or every other day or something, and then at the end of the year have this awesome granny square blanket.
That would be awesome.
But I just don't know how to continue in a color without cutting my yarn.
And that's a lot of ends to weave in. That is a lot of ends to weave in. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, send us the messages.
Yeah, let us know, because I've watched every Granny Square YouTube on YouTube, and none of them are answering my question. And some of them are talking real fast. I'm like, oh, slow down, you know. And I rewatch it, and I'm just not my brain's not getting it. So
I completely get it. So I have about 3 whips before we'll get into our new crazy whip. Of course, you guys are probably so tired of seeing these, but Paige of Socks. They're just so easy to knit on the podcast, so I don't knit on them a whole lot outside of the podcast, but I did put heels in them.
I should start podcast socks.
You should start podcast socks. It'll probably take you a year to finish them, but you should still start them.
Probably.
Yeah. So, I have heels in both of them. I'll put a picture in, but, so that's my easy little... Okay, so I know I've told you guys before that I am really not a lace knitter. I'm just plain stockinette, easy kind of gal. But I have a friend in the Netherlands. Her name is Bridget, and she has a pattern. It's called the Advent Calendar Stole. And it's a mystery. The mystery's over. All the clues have come out by now. I think the last clue just came out 2 days ago. There's 9 or 10 clues. I don't remember exactly how many. The clues come out like every other day. And she has each little section, and I thought, you know, I just want to do some lace. I want to step outside my comfort zone. I want to do some lace, and I want to do some beads. So I started this. Now, with all of that being said, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to finish this. I have enjoyed knitting this, and I'm about to hit the bead section. Here at this, she has an interlude between each clue. But this is very time consuming for me. I can't even tell you how long this section took me. It took me quite some time. So I guess I just get, I don't know, frustrated or tired with it or whatever. And I just think, oh, I'm never going to finish that. And then I, you know, end up frogging it or whatever. And maybe it's going to be a year-long thing. Maybe I do a clue a month, you know, instead of every 2 days, you know. Yeah. But I think I would wear it. I have so many shawls that I really don't wear enough shawls. And Darlene and I have both told each other we need to stop making so many shawls that we don't wear. This is going to be a big rectangular stole, and I think I would wear it. But I don't know. But I did start
It's
that,
pretty.
and I have some beads to put on it, and we'll see if I get any farther. I'm not 100% sure, and if I'm already this iffy, I'm not really sure where that's going to go.
And, I think, next year, I know we didn't say we were going to talk about goals, but I know, some of my goals for next year is, to use Stash. That's a big one. And I want to do some color work. I want to learn, I want to learn new things this next year. So I want to do some color work, and I want to make some blankets and not make so many shawls, because I have a tub full of shawls, and the only ones I wear are my green one you made me, my starting point, and Find Your Fade.
Those are the largest.
And those are the only ones I wear. And so, I'm like, I need to, like, not be investing the money and the time into shawls that aren't going to be wore. So those are some of my goals for next year.
Yeah, and I'd like to say one of my goals is just to, like, step out of my comfort zone, which I did with that lace. I really did. I just don't know if I'm going to go forward with it. I know that's a cheesy way to do a goal, but we'll see. We'll see. I hope I do. I'm just afraid it's going to get pushed to the side, like so many other things that I want to make get pushed to the side.
And I would like to make some socks this next year. I'm not a sock knitter. I don't really like to knit socks, but I would like to learn to like to knit socks.
I would like to learn to like to knit lace, honestly.
I love
and be good
lace,
at it, and be good at it. But I'm not good at it, and it's slow for me, and I guess that's what frustrates me. Maybe because I do too much stockinette or too much socks, and they go so much faster than having to pay it. I can't really watch a show and do a lace pattern. I'm going 1, 2, 3, and then knit 2 together. I'm like trying to look at my chart while I'm doing the knitting, and I'm losing everything that's on that TV, and so it's just not as convenient, I guess. But I would like to do a little bit more, so we'll see how that goes. And then I think I only have one more whip. Sorry. And it is also lace. So maybe this will give me my lace kick. I started this a long time ago, and I told Paige that I'd get it done for her, and it just got pushed aside.
You've done a lot on it, though.
But I have done a lot on it. I think I was like way down here somewhere, and over the last few days, I've got a picture to insert. I don't even know if I have the pattern in this bag.
I need to make shall of that.
It's like a leaf pattern. I think it was free. I don't remember. I will put it in the show notes. A link to the pattern, and Paige saw it on Instagram. I don't know how she got to following this guy or how she saw it on Instagram, but there's a guy on Instagram, and he had a hat that he wore, and he had this is meant to be a scarf, and it's also meant to have 2 more pattern repeats on this side, and he made it a little bit thinner, and I think he made it into a cowl, like he seamed the ends, because I don't think he had as much yarn as what the original pattern called for. So she loved them both. I've already made her the hat, which I showed quite some time ago, because I finished that hat very quickly. And now I'm trying to make her this this cowl, and get that done for her, so she can ask me to make her something else, but we'll see about that. And so those are my only whips.
So,
until we jump into craziness.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So, Darlene and I we talk at work all the time, and mostly on like an instant messenger type thing. And we were talking again about our goals and how we don't want to buy any more yarn, and we really need to use some stash. And we both have these 1 and 2 skeins of yarn colors.
Because, we see something and we're like, oh, we gotta have that. And we buy 1 skein of it.
Exactly. And a couple of them I've bought 2, but still, in talking and thinking about it, the only shawls that we wear are the huge shawls, which would take like 4 or 5 skeins of yarn. And we want to make more sweaters, which would also take, 4 or 5 or 10 skeins of yarn for our size. But So we thought, what are we going to do with all our one skeiners, you know, here and there? So we thought, let's make the Brioche Chevron blanket by Stephen West. This is a paid for pattern, but it is awesome. I'll put a link to the pattern in the notes. Can't really show, you know, a whole lot without, you know, giving away some of the pattern. But Darlene has a whole bunch of Lolo Did It hippo yarn.
I just got on this hippo kick this year, and every time there was a holiday and she put out a hippo yarn, I bought it. And so I have 12 skeins of hippo.
Hippo for
yarn.
Christmas, hippo for Father's Day, hippo for 4th of July.
Hippo for everything. Hippo, mom's hippo, dad's hippo. And,
all that stuff.
And so I was like, what am I going to do with all of this yarn? So, and Carrie told me that I should make like a crochet blanket out of it and stuff. And I've just been really hesitant about making a blanket out of that yarn. But then it's like, what am I going to do with it? I mean, it's going to sit on my shelf forever if I don't do something with it. So, I was telling Bruce, this is my basket of goodness. So, I pulled all of my hippo yarn. That's these over here. And I'm going to pair it with, I'm going to do all hippo on one side and then all solids on the other side.
And I'll take a picture of this and insert it.
This is my basket of goodness.
This is awesomeness.
And I'm starting mine with, this is the start of mine. This is what I'm working on. This is I-cord edging. It's going to take forever.
We have to do like
351 or something.
I don't know how many.
And so I
adjusted the pattern a little for fingering weight because the pattern calls for DK.
It does. And this is my hippo for Easter. And I picked hippo for Easter because this little skein of yarn is ball yarns and it was already caked. So I just said, what goes with this?
Who wants to cake 20 skeins of yarn?
Yeah, and so this is my beginning.
Yeah,
right
so
here.
that's gonna be great, and I'll put a picture in.
And we're doing the I-cord, the start of it on size 8s, but then when we start knitting it, we'll go down to 6s.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely. And then we were talking, and I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get this yarn out, and I'm going to get that yarn out, and blah, blah, blah. And then I get home, and I'm all excited, and I come in here, and I get to my stash, and I start pulling everything out. And I just, like, get to a point where I can't deal anymore. It's like all the colors are overwhelming, and I don't know what to put on what side, and I don't know what to put on the other side, and is this going to match that? And I can't match. I tell that to people all the time. They're like, you can match a lot better than you think you can.
You can.
And I just like freeze, and I'm like, ugh.
And I also think though that this blanket, it don't matter.
I think I finally got to that point. So I'm going to insert a picture here of the yarns that I'm going to use. I put a little tease on Instagram yesterday saying, what craziness are we up to now? And I have pretty much like all oranges. They're different variations of orange, but mostly oranges on one side of my blanket. And then mostly like reds with purple and some deep oranges also in there. So I kind of tried to go like with a fall theme. There's a couple that are a little brighter than others. And,
it's going to look really good though.
And I have my 2 starting ones here. I have just this little like only 2 skeins have sparkle and the rest don't have any sparkle. So it's really going to be just a mix match of stuff. But these are my starting ones.
That's so pretty.
So this one has a little bit of everything in it, and this one is just for the orange side.
What is that yarn? This one.
This one is Dreamin' Color Smushy. I think this is our winning yarn from the Loopy U for camp 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember.
Beautiful yarn.
So it was a special edition for the Loopy U. We did camp, Loopy U camp one year, and I think this was the prize for finishing all 3 projects. So this one and this one is my starting. I haven't started yet, but I will. And then I went a little bit of a different route. I went kind of to find your fade route. I took all of the skeins that
I'm
picked,
probably going to do that too.
And here's my pattern. And I'll put them all in a package like I'm going to mail them without mailing them. And then I put an R or an O on them. So red and orange.
And this is the way we did our mystery Find Your Fave. And it was so much fun. It really like pushes you to get to that next color.
You want to get. Now we haven't really decided how we're gonna figure out how far we go with each color, because we don't want to like finish an entire skein and then start the next one. I don't want it like really strictly striped. I want it, you know, just like a little off, which is why I started with this. This is only like 120 yards. So when I finish this one, I'll grab my next orange, but I'll go a little bit farther with this one and then grab my next
because
red.
We don't want there to be the break on the same side.
Exactly. And so we're going to kind of like offset each other, and then I don't know if we're going to like make a pair of dice out of like a Kleenex box or something and roll it with like either the numbers like 20, 30, 40, 50 or what. I don't know, to decide how many rows do we do in this next section, or I'm not sure, but it's going to be pretty mystery because I'm just going to mix this up. I'll probably have Antonio pick them a couple of times. He loves to do stuff like that. And then just put it in as my next color. And we will probably not finish this until the year 2027.
But I think we did say that we really want to try to have it done in a year.
So we're going to try.
So we're going to try to have it done.
Now, right now is the perfect time to be working on a blanket. Obviously, we would want it to have more substance because it's getting cooler. But, you know, Texas in the spring and summer, it gets pretty hot. So some days we're going to come home and go, oh, the last thing I want to do is put that blanket on my lap. So there'll be a gap with it or whatever. But
I'm a little scared about it because I'm just not as good at brioche as you are. But it'll be a great project to learn to do brioche. It will be.
And I looked at a couple. I looked at a couple on Ravelry, and I'm not knocking anybody by any means, but I saw a few of them where you could see their little, you know, there's this certain mistake that you make in brioche, and it like causes a. Like here's the knit stitch and it causes like a little purl bump right in front of it because you didn't do something with the slip one yarn over right away. And I've done it several times myself. I'm not sure exactly how I do it wrong, but it's just one of those things where, you know, you can get in the rhythm and get it wrong. But this is the perfect project where if you've got mistakes in it, they're really hard to find because it's just going to be a big, busy blanket. And I think, like you said, it's a great thing to learn brioche on. It's a long-term project. And I think we're going to have a great time.
I think so too. And I can't wait for it to get, you know, a little bit of substance. We can start like seeing it. But that I-cord cast on is killing me.
It will kill both of us.
Gosh. And then picking up the stitches.
We're going to have to pick up the stitches afterwards.
So I'm anxious to get through the 4 setup rows. You know. So, and then Carrie and I even talked about, do we want to do some fading on this? Carrie might want to do fading on hers, but I am not doing fading on mine because I don't want to be managing 4 skeins of yarn. And
in the What the Fade, I don't know if anybody did the most recent What the Fade by Andrea Mowry. It was a mystery one. It had fading in the brioche, and that's how we know there's 4 skeins of yarn to manage, because you've got 2 already just for your regular brioche, and then you add the next 2 to, you know, do 1 row in these 2 colors and then 1 row in these, you know, and so it is 4 skeins of yarn hanging off of 351 stitches in fingering weight yarn across, and that will be a nightmare. So we're probably not going to do any fading, and I think just the offsetting will be enough. So I'm super excited about it.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to it.
So hopefully we keep our steam. And
I know you're out of work a lot next week.
I have a day and a half.
But hopefully we can like get started on it, you know, together at work. You know, the setup rows, because I'm going to need you on those.
Yeah, no problem. I'll help you out.
So, and then I'm hoping on our first episode after the new year, Peyton will be here with us.
Oh, yay! That'll be exciting.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So, oh, I forgot to show my crochet blanket. So, speaking of a little bit of substance, Darlene was, you know, doing so much crocheting last time we podcast that I kind of got in that little crochet kick.
I want to make one of these with my Leading Man yarn. I want to do this blanket.
So, Darlene bought me the last year, well, this year, 2017, for my birthday. She bought me the entire year in review of the Leading Men Fiber Arts yarn. And I think I've mentioned it before. I just don't think I've ever shown my blankets.
So
and
pretty.
It's 10 skeins of yarn, and you know, one per month, but there's 2 months they don't do a color. And then I bought some black to go in between each one. And I went on a website that has like a random number generator, and I assigned each month a color, and then I just had a computer randomly generate the striping sequence for me. I had to fudge like four striping sequences because I have one skein of each color, and I couldn't have like 45 rows in this color and 12 rows in this color.
It looks so good.
So I had to do just a touch of fudging to make sure they were all around the 20, 25 mark. The lowest number of rows I have is 18, and the highest number of rows I have is 26. So hopefully that all fits in. And then I have black, and then I bought some gray to do some edging. But I started this in February of last year, or March. After I knew what I wanted to do with it, and
it looks fabulous. I love it.
I mean, it's just barely getting any substance, but I have enjoyed.
It's actually big enough now, though, it would be fun to work on.
It is a little fun to work on. It is. Can't wait till our brioche chevron is this big.
Oh my gosh,
but
me too.
that'll be exciting. But I
love that though, and I have all of that Leading Men yarn too that I want to do that same thing with.
So she has all of last year's, and that's what this is. This is 2016's year in review. And then both of us bought the skein a month this year, which will be another 10 skeins for the year in review for 2017. And I originally was going to put those on one side of my blanket. And then when I got home and I looked at everything and I had my little nervous breakdown, and Jaime came over and he goes, "Man, you're grumpy." And I said, I just can't match this color. He goes, "Come on, let's go." And so he comes into the yarn room and he's like, "Here." And he pulls one out. I said, "Okay, great. Pick 19 more." And he's like, "I thought you just needed one." I was like, "Now do you know why I'm grumpy?"
That's funny.
He was like, "I'm out." So the next day I just sat down and I really got them done.
And I love your colors. I like them.
I think I'm going to enjoy it because I looked at my stash in my shelves and I just had all this red and orange popping out at me, all different. Mostly orange. I have a lot of orange in my stash, and just a bunch of them, you know, popping out at me. And a lot of them are very similar, even though they're different brands. I thought, well, I can't put all those together. It'd be too big of a chunk. But I think I have enough variation.
I do too. And mine was a lot easier because I knew I wanted my hippo on one side, and then I just picked all solids because I decided I wanted all solids on one side and hippo on the other side. So
hers is going to be
so
amazing.
Mine was a lot easier to pick.
It's going to be amazing.
But,
okay, so I think that's all we have knitting wise and crochet wise, but I did want to chat a little bit about the cowl. So we are doing our very first ever cowl for Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast. It's going to start December 31st, so you can go ahead and cast on New Year's Eve. You don't have to wait till the New Year's Day. And I think a lot of different podcasts or other cowls do that. So we wanted to make sure you could double, triple, quadruple, quintuple dip and, everything. And it can be anything, really, as long as it's got one skein. At least one skein, that's it. If it has 20 skeins, that's fine. If it has 2, that's fine. And if it has 1, that's fine. And you can enter as many times as you want to. It's knitting or crocheting. Even though I call it a cowl, it's knitting or crocheting. And, I mean, if you have any questions, I'm sure the answer is yes, because we're really pretty laid back here. We don't know what the prizes are going to be yet, but we're going to have some.
And it can be crochet, knitting.
Anything, yeah.
Anything.
And we'll figure out what our prizes are and probably let you know, sooner or later. It's going to go till the end of March, so 3 months. We thought that was an okay start, since it is a one skein cowl. Some of you will probably be done on the 2nd of January.
Yeah, but you can do as many as you want. So.
Yeah, you can. And then as we were talking about this whole stash craziness, stash busting thing that we're doing here with the blanket, we decided to start in the Bags by Awesome Granny group. It's not in the Knitter's Gotta Knit group, but it's in the Bags by Awesome Granny group. A I called it SAL, S-A-L, for Stash Along.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that one, I didn't put any dates on that yet, but I think we might go 6 months with that sucker. You know, just use some stash. And stash is anything that you've already purchased, even if it's wrapped in under the tree. Even if you've purchased it, but you're not celebrating Christmas until the 7th of January and you're not actually opening it until January 7th, it was bought before the 31st, so that counts. It's all on the honor system. I mean, you know what was in your stash before, you know, we got started. And just enter as many things as you want. There's no minimum. There's no maximum.
We'll give a bag set away.
Yeah, we're going to give a bag set away for that one. And so, you know, double dip between both of the groups. You know, between Bag Spa Awesome Granny and this one. But for the Knitters Gotta Knit, you don't have to use stash for that. But if you are, then
put it in both places.
Put it in both places and double dip.
And it'll be separate entries in both places.
And the one other bigger difference with the one in Bag Spa Awesome Granny group, it can be a whip. You could have started it in, you know, January of 2012. But just, it's stash, pull it out, get it done, and get it posted. And in the Knitters Gotta Knit Cal, it's December 31st and forward. So.
Yep, and you can, you know, if you put it on Instagram, use either hashtag Bag Spa Awesome Granny or Knitters Gotta Knit. And, you know, maybe, you know, we haven't talked about this, but, you know, Carrie does all the hard work. I just like tell her, hey, I think this would be a good idea. But maybe we could, you know, maybe we do an Instagram if we get enough posts on Instagram for the Knitters Gotta Knit.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
You know, some repostings and stuff. That would be great.
Yeah, share the word.
Yeah, we really like to get our word out there. So,
yeah, that'd be great. Well, I think that's probably all that we have, with the exception of news for bags.
And we have a lot. And before we get started showing the bags, I do want to say there's a coupon code, Christmas 2017. That's good from yesterday till January the 1st for 15% off of anything in the shop if you want to use that. And Carrie will put that in the show notes also.
Yeah, I will.
And we'll take pictures of all the bags before we, but we will show them.
But before, if anybody doesn't want to, you know, hang out for this, we want to tell you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We probably won't be podcasting till the New Year again, so have some wonderful holidays, and I hope you get to spend it all with the ones you love.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, I love this first bag. This bag is like my favorite one.
This one might get lost in my yarn room.
I love the pink, the pink sweater with the pink zipper and the pink houndstooth lining. It's my favorite.
As always, I will take pictures and they'll be inserted here at some point, one after the other. But it's a great bag.
So the next one is a winter hat bag. Now, I only have one of these left in the shop. I only had two. Because when I bought this material, I didn't realize that the hats were 4 inches tall.
They are pretty tall.
So they're pretty big.
They're a pretty big motif.
So I won't be buying any more of this material. So there's one left in the shop.
First one to get it?
Yep.
It's gone.
So, and it is only in the large. Everything with the exception of this one is in all of the sizes I have. This one is only in the large, and I only have one left. So, and this one is the Pigs in Mud.
Just like my tote bag.
And it's got
polka dots.
Cute pink polka dotted lining.
This is really cute. I hope I can get a really good close-up because these pigs are just adorable.
They're swimming and they're backstroking.
They're just having a blast.
Snorkeling.
They're just having a blast in that mud.
They're just so cute. And this one is cat faces.
Oh, these are cute. I'm not a huge cat person, but these are cute cats. It's also
we have a lot of pink going on in this shop update.
Yeah, sure looks like it. This is a great bag.
And then we have a sheep.
Who doesn't love a sheep?
With yellow. And then we have a white version in the same bag. You know, not everybody likes black and not everybody likes white, but everybody likes sheep, so.
The sheep are green and yellow.
And yellow on both bags.
On both bags. And they're very, very cute sheep.
And then Tootsie Roll. You know, I love Tootsie Rolls. And I saw this material and I thought, you know, it's kind of vintage looking.
Look at that orange.
You know, and it's, I don't know if anybody likes Tootsie Rolls, but I think it's cute. And it's got the little Tootsie Roll characters, you know, the Indians and the horses.
I don't know if anybody did this when they were younger and had Tootsie Rolls, but I was always told that if you got a wrapper that had the Indian shooting the arrow next to the star, it was like some special wrapper.
Oh, really?
Or something.
I didn't know that.
I don't know what was so special about it, but apparently they weren't on, you know, every one, and so I would always try and find the one with the Indian on it. And
I didn't know that.
but it could be something that somebody just lied to me
And for you
about.
skull people out there, here's a batik skull bag,
This
which
is
I think
awesome.
is really pretty. I think it's really, really
And Darlene
pretty.
is not a skull person.
I'm not, but I think it's pretty material.
It's beautiful.
So,
It is very beautiful.
and Shyla,
material.
Bruce said you could have this bag for the price listed in the shop.
Shyla, that means you're not getting one unless you're buying it. But use coupon code Christmas 2017. You get 15% off.
But that's it. I mean, that's a lot of bag, and I have 3 more at home that didn't get made, but one up that just ran out of time, or Bruce ran out of time. But we have one that's it's got knitting needles with knitting fabric coming off the needles,
I love stuff like that.
and one that's cactuses and potted cactuses,
That's a Christmas in Texas.
and the other one is these sheep in different kind of sweater things.
Oh, how cute. Those will be awesome.
But those will be in the shop probably middle of next week. But we won't show them on the podcast until
The new
the
year.
next
As
episode.
long
But
as
they will
there's still
be
some left.
They will be in the shop though.
Yeah.
So
So, I think that's all we have. I hope I've gone over everything that I wanted to. And if I didn't, I'll just add it to next time. And again, if you stayed this long, thank you for watching the shop update. And have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope that you get to spend time with the ones that you love.
I hope so too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.